walking through the fire, shadows on your name. Every scar you carry tells you not to be ashamed. The journey isn't easy, but your soul is worth the fight. Every step you're taking pulls you closer to the light. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? When you have an awakening, it's just the beginning. It takes a lot more than you think, so don't stop your healing. Don't stop your healing. People may not see it, the battles that you face, but breaking down the old walls makes a stronger place. You don't have to hurry, healing has its pace. Even in the silence, love will find its space. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? When you have an awakening, it's just the beginning. It takes a lot more than you think, so don't stop your healing. Don't stop your healing. Keep going, keep growing, even when the pain is showing. Keep rising, keep fighting, your spirit's flame is never dying. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? When you have an awakening, it's just the beginning. It takes a lot more than you think, so don't stop your healing. Just keep going, keep going. Breathe in, let it flow. You're stronger than you know. Every ending starts again. The healing never ends. Keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep growing. This is the life you're owning. Don't stop your healing, no, you're just beginning. So keep going. Welcome to the midnight tide, where shadows whisper, darkness hides. We're diving deep into the unknown. On a journey, you're not alone. From haunted halls to specters lost, we'll guide you through the eerie frost, with tales that chill and spirits roam. A freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Welcome to the midnight tide, where shadows whisper, darkness hides. We're diving deep into the unknown. On a journey, you're not alone. From haunted halls to specters lost, we'll guide you through the eerie frost, with tales that chill and spirits roam. The freaking awesome paranormal show. Ghostly whispers, ancient tomes, mysteries in haunted homes. Brace yourselves, it's time to go. The freaking awesome paranormal show. The freaking awesome paranormal show.
The engine is still stopped.
For launch, GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps. The cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Rift Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
There we go. What is up, all you freaks out there? This is Ryan.
This is Rhonda.
And it's another fun Tuesday night.
That's right.
Tuesday night is a night for freaks.
Where are all our freaks?
Yes, where the freaks at?
Calling all freaks.
Hey, calling up freaks. It's your freak flag fly. On Tuesday nights. Did you realize that today is Nutty Fudge Day?
Not the Nutty Fudge.
Nutty Fudge Day, which was unfortunately my nickname in high school. But we're not going to talk about that.
Wait a minute. I thought you were Thin Slice.
Well,
did they change grade to grade? Like, what grade was Thin Slice and what was Nutty Fudge?
My name is Ryan, but my friends call me Nutty Fudge.
Oh, God. How would they know? Hey, Sharon.
Sharon Better's here. Renee Cody got us shared
yep.
out.
Ed Odell, I see him watching.
Heck yeah.
There come our freaks.
Yes, the freaks are coming out of the woodwork tonight. We have a great show.
Yeah.
It was also National Tampon Day, so there you go.
Thank goodness for those.
Yep. Those I heard those come in handy.
They come in quite handy.
Yeah. And now this right here, I'm actually surprised if anybody's coherent enough to even enjoy the show, because I know the people who celebrate this holiday, they party hard.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes. It
How
is
are they doing?
National Odometer Day.
Well, dang on. We all
Yeah.
got one of those. Got an
When you-
odometer.
every family has someone who just loves odometers.
Yep.
And this is their day. This is their day to
Yay.
let their odometer freak flag fly. And
I
of
mean,
course,
they're all about the numbers.
they
just
are,
want
and
the
they just start hitting
numbers.
shots.
Yep.
As soon as
Yep.
the engine revs up, here's another shot right there. But they're not driving; they let someone else drive.
Right.
Yeah, no, they're responsible partiers. And of course, it is National You Dig Day.
You dig.
You dig.
That's going to be the phrase for the night. You dig.
You dig.
You dig.
Hell yeah, at Howie. Room. Yeah, he knows what's up. You dig,
digs.
Howie? Is that what
He digs.
he digs?
He digs.
You dig. TMI. I mean, you know what?
Nutty fudge, man. Nutty fudge.
I would hate to have that nickname in high school. I think that's something you would never live down. Oh, there goes old Nutty Fudge. Only one speed, and that's fast, baby.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah.
goodness. That's right, Renee.
You feel the need?
The need for speed.
Hell yeah. So we have the continuation
Yeah.
of a show we did a couple months ago.
Yep.
We have our friend Luann Joly coming back to join us, talk about the Curse of Lizzie Borden. I actually did some research this week and went back and watched the show.
Did you? Okay.
Yes, I did, and it was very interesting. To say the least. Interesting to talk to her about the what happened there, and like if anything's changed since then, because I think it was a couple years ago that it came out.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So if she's been back to the Borden house or not, so we'll talk to her about that. But first, we need to see what the cards say.
That's right, we do. And as promised, there's a new deck this week called the Outlaw Oracle.
Nice.
Looks like
it looks like a pack of Marlboro
cigarette pack.
Yeah, it looks like a.
So we're gonna pull a card from this one. I haven't even looked at. Literally, I just took it out of the mailing box right before the show, opening them up, and I've been shuffling. I haven't even looked at them.
This is an exclusive, guys.
This is
First time.
First glance, even for the reader. So
Wow.
let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. All right. All right. Ooh. That's interesting. So we got smoke. And it says visions and symbols. And I'm going to pull one more with that. We got heat wave. And heat wave says oppression and exhaustion. So I think that's something new that comes out. When I look at both of those, when I saw smoke, it said visions and signals. My first inclination, the first thing that popped in my mind was like looking for the things that for the signs from the universe, from spirit, from our ancestors that we sometimes forget to pay attention to. And then when I see the heat wave with oppression and exhaustion, and when you're at that place where you just don't know what to do next, I feel like this week when you're getting to that point, and I feel like some of us, probably are at that point, or these cards would not have come out. So when you're at that point where you're just feeling like your ideas are dry, your emotions are dry, you don't quite know what to do next, you don't know where to go, start paying attention to the signs and symbols. And I think what's important is like it references smoke, which we know that people can use smoke for like divination, much like scrying in a mirror. You can smoke scry. You can do things like that. I think it's more so not about the smoke, but it's more about when you're at that point when you're feeling really, really, really lost, is to make sure you're looking from the signs and the symbols that might guide you somewhere. And those can be very nuanced. They can be seeing a repeating number that you should probably go Google and see what that number means. It could be as far as seeing something that reminds you of someone that has passed away. It can be a song and a song lyric. Like maybe you suddenly hear a song that you haven't heard for a while and you just like, you're drawn to like, why am I hearing this? Maybe go look at the lyrics and see what's coming on with that. So I think that's what these are, at least for me, what they are bringing forth this week. But I think I'm going to love this deck. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, if that first pull is any indication, I think it's going to be
Yeah,
a good
I like
deck.
But I think this is like so
sure.
cool. The box is
Yeah.
cool. We're just gonna pull like two songs. So we got one like off the bottom of the deck is like Neon Sign. Monarch. So it's gonna have lots of different. Oh, this is a good one. Cold one.
Oh, no shit. There you go.
These are gonna be fun. I think these are a good summer deck. I'm excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Literally, I was trying. They had wrapped it in like the whole box, right? It comes in this little box, and it's wrapped in so much packing tape that I am literally strip by strip pulling off packing tape to get to this box of cards for tonight. So,
wow. Well, that's definitely a great
yeah,
a great box. I love the way that's packaged. In
really cool, right?
Actually, with like a biker type deal, you know. So that was awesome. And yeah, you're looking for the signs. It may not be obvious signs.
And just like Kevin picked up, he said, smoke and mirrors came to mind, magic and now heat, fire elements of magic. So for him, when he looked at those, that's what he felt. And that might be your symbol for that. Like maybe you need to be finding your spark and your fire and your passion again. And that's what you should be looking towards to try to, or maybe if it's because you're stuck, you're saying, okay, what lights my fire? What's gives me, magic, what revs my engines, broom. You dig?
Yeah, you dig. Nutty Fudge.
So maybe that's where you need to tap into to get through whatever has you so stagnated at the moment that you're feeling oppressed and dry and you're not moving forward. So
those
are those signs that it's talking about.
Yeah, I mean, they're everywhere. You just have to open your eyes and see them and be open to them as well.
Yeah.
So I do want to say something real quick before we bring Luann Joly on. Now, Rhonda and I, we do our show tonight, and we do another show on Thursday night on TikTok. So we have two shows. When we're done with that show, I download it and I upload it onto the Rift Nation page on Saturday nights. So if anyone comes into the show and watches the show on Saturday, it's a replay. So we would never ignore anybody in chat. So
right. No, we would never. It's a replay of what we did over on TikTok. And I'm going to tell you, I got on this too. I'm at a paranormal investigation at Belgrove. We're taking a break, and all of a sudden, my counterpart
live for no reason.
Says, Rhonda, you're live. And I start freaking out. My phone is in my back pocket. I pull it out. I'm like, no, I'm not. But I'm freaking out thinking, like, have I hit a button? Are people watching my butt? Like, what are we doing? And she's like, no, you're live. Look, and I was like, Ryan, are we live? What's happening?
No,
what is happening? He's like, I'm playing the replay. I'm like, oh, so I guess I am live, kind of.
Yeah, sort of. I just want people other than the people on TikTok to see what our interviews. So I saw some comments in the chat, and I got on the one we did with Dennis late. It's like I had to cut off half the show because we went over, but TikTok only allows us to upload an hour.
Right.
So I got in like at 9:50 or 9:55 or something like that, and I noticed some people were saying that we were ignoring them, and we weren't. We just weren't there.
We weren't there. We were
Yeah,
doing other
so-
things.
Just letting you guys know, if you see us on Saturday, if we do, if we may do a show on Saturday sometime at some point, and if we are on, we'll obviously say something to you guys. But
Yeah.
we want to let you guys know, if you see us and we don't respond, it's the replay from last week's show. So just little PSA for you guys. Courtney's here, Michelle's here, Kevin's here. God,
Michael
all the
Brooks
freaks
is
are here. Man.
Ed's here. Kevin's
Renee's here. Sharon.
Yeah.
They're all here to hear the story of Lizzie Borden. Guys, let's bring our friend Luann Joly back onto the show. Is she here?
Hello.
Hello.
I am having trouble with my webcam. I tried to fix it today.
It's okay.
And I didn't succeed. Us again. Good to see you guys, though.
It's all good.
Well, good to hear you.
Different than where I was at last time, walking around Great Wolf Lodge. So I'm actually back in the home base again.
Yeah.
And it's funny she pulled a fire card. Because like I am such a fire sign, my rising sign, my moon sign, and my sun's the board. So I'm a very fiery person, I guess. Maybe that's why the ghosts love me so much.
That's right.
Yeah,
you're igniting all the fire.
That's awesome.
I'm
so
loaded with fire.
Well, I knew the spirits were attracted to you at the Lizzie Borden house after watching that show.
Oh, yeah, that was actually a tough show to do. Usually I try to have like at least one psychic on my team at any given time. And I mean, we've been a team for, what is it now? 26 years? 22 years, sorry. In 2024, we celebrated our 20th anniversary. So now in 2026, it's 22 years. I was a little off there, but David Schrader, who does his own shows. We also had Chris Fleming, who is a sensitive, and Sam Baltrusis, who's also a sensitive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was almost pain. Sam, he feels the spirit's emotions, and you're in a murder house, you're right next door to where a woman killed herself and her 2 children, and their Borden house, there has been a negative entity in that house, and it's really hard sometimes to say, are these the spirits of the Bordens, or is this negative entity filling us up with stuff? Because probably about 15 years ago, I'm not really a person who does seances all the time. I try to stick with the scientific because a lot of my life was leading me down one path, and things scientific to back up what was happening to me. So that's always kind of been my chase. But I did participate in a seance in Lizzie Borden's, like I say, about 15 or so years ago. And we had this little beautiful antique table that we were using for the seance. And house psychic at that point. Sneeze a little bit. My grandson gave me this terrible cold, but
it's okay.
It was actually that some friends of mine had gotten started at Lizzie Borden's, and so it's kind of tough. You're in a house with, you know, I don't want to say professional people, but these are people that, are coming in off the street and paying a certain set fee to get into the Lizzie Bordens to participate with actual investigators. And we sat down at this little beautiful antique table and we were doing the seance. And the psychic, and I don't know why I can't remember her name. She was there for so long. I was friends with her. She was having a little bit of a problem. Like, she kept saying that Andrew was coming through. Andrew's coming through, and he's angry. And at one point, she got so sick to her stomach that she actually got up and left and went into the bathroom.
Is Andrew her
And,
father?
what was that?
Was Andrew the name of her stepfather or her father?
No, that was her father. The
Okay.
stepmother was Abby
All right. Just
Borden.
making sure people knew that.
Yep, Andrew Borden was Lizzie's father. And she left. She was sick to her stomach. She went into the bathroom for a few minutes. And when she left, I don't know why I had this really strong feeling that I needed to continue the circle. So I started talking to Andrew, and I was saying things about, you probably wouldn't like modern women because we can be anything that we want to be. We don't have to listen to our fathers. We can be scientists, we can be doctors, we can be, whatever we want to be. And I kind of kept going on that, vein. And all of a sudden, now all of us have our hands on this table. This table lifted up my face. And I mean, I've worked with horses all my life. I'm strong. And I could barely keep this table from hitting me in the face. And as it kept going on, and the people are kind of freaking out because they've never seen anything like this before, by the time we were done, that beautiful little antique table was on the floor in pieces. It was like that much strength that was coming through that. Now, if you kind of fast forward, I believe the Curse of Lizzie Borden came through in 2021. It was definitely a little bit after COVID. We still had to wear masks and, go through all of the procedures with COVID and everything. So it was a little harder than most shows that are filmed that don't have to go through all of those precautions and everything. We did another seance, which I'm sure you saw during the show, and um, it was actually a lot longer than what was televised. It probably was maybe an hour or an hour and a half, and each one of us kind of had our own experience. Dave had a very negative experience. He had to like stop for a little bit to,
Let's start. Let's because that's kind of towards the end. Let's start at the beginning of like how the show came together and just walk us through the process of like how did they get in touch with you? How did it get started? Because I want to lead up to that
Okay.
seance at the end.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
kind of a
that
big
makes
deal.
sense. I kind of got on the seance vibe there, so um sorry about that.
It's all
I
good.
was actually contacted by a production company, and one thing that I pride myself in is that I am really good with electronic voice phenomenon, or EVP. Um Over, 20, 30 years of doing that type of work, I've compiled probably, thousands of EVP recordings over the years of doing my research. So I'm not really sure how they um, realize that I was the person who did these EVPs, but they were very interested in my Lizzie Borden EVPs, and they contacted me through email. And, it was kind of a lot of back and forth, and they weren't really sure who to put me with because I'm not a TV personality. I'm, a grunt down in the trenches doing, the more negative cases because that's unfortunately what I have experience with. And I feel very strongly about helping other people with those types of problems. You know, when the stuff's hitting the fan, I will be there for you, and I will get you through it until there is nothing or scaring you or, I've seen children that have been terrorized and physically assaulted by these things, just like I was.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's more my point of research and what I try to help people with. So with people who had more experience with like the whole TV show type thing in the background a little bit, but I'm there and I'm experiencing what these guys are experiencing. That put me together with Dave Schrader, Chris Fleming, and Sam Baltrusis, like I said, for the Lizzie Borden. It was really a great experience. Borden's is maybe 20-25 minutes away from where I live. But get all that easy, point, going back 15-20 years ago, it was like $1,500 to rent the house out for the night. So, that's not something that, most teams want to spend. So, most of my visits to the Lizzie Borden house were through other teams or other radio show groups that work in this area, TV show times. For the Lizzie Borden, the Curse of Lizzie Borden week, we slept there, we ate there, we, investigated there every night. And I mean, that was like a dream come true for someone like me because that house is to me a huge research point because you've got the Lizzie Borden murders about a block away. It's called the Skeleton and Armor. If you want to look that up, anybody who's listening, it's actually a skeleton that was buried in a way that Native Americans would be on, buried sitting up in a sitting position. He had copper tubing in his regalia, many, many pieces of, items, arrowheads, things like that. And the question in 1832, when they found this particular skeleton, was this a Native American who was buried here with, copper tubing? Did he have contact with Europeans? And that's how because at that point in, the tribe's life, which they're called the Wampanoag people, the
Mm-hmm.
people of the morning light, they did not have the ability to smelt metal. So it was impossible for the Native Americans to have. And the guess was either that this was a Native American skeleton who had contact with Europeans and was given this copper tubing as a gift, or he was a European who had been shipwrecked here and survived and lived with the Wampanoag, but, had somehow gained status in the tribe, so they buried him this way.
That's very
And
interesting.
unfortunately, they were never able to like test bones of him because the building that the skeleton was housed in actually burned to the ground and the skeleton went with it. So, there's a
Mm.
lot of questions about that. And that's like a block away from Lizzie Borden's. Then you skip back a few years to, I believe it was 1834. You have the murder of Sarah Maria Cornell. And I have these horrifying EVPs of a woman screaming. I actually call it the screamer because you hear her screaming and screaming, and there might even be words mixed in with the screaming, but it was like imagine this. I just investigated this undisclosed location in Fall River that is maybe a block away from Lizzie Borden's again. And I put my headphones on and I'm listening to my audio, and all of a sudden, these blood curdling screams like I almost fell out of my chair. They're so loud, completely oblivious to it. We're with another team. We're investigating this location, and you can hear us in the background talking about where we're going to set up recorders, where we're going to set up, video cameras, where we're going to hang out. And these screams are like overtaking it. Like literally, my headphones probably popped off my head. They were like that loud. And then at the very end of the come in, who are you? Leave this man. That was probably her murderer, Ephraim K. Avery. And he
That
dragged her.
was that the preacher or minister? That
Yes. Yep.
yes. Okay.
Reverend Ephraim K. Avery. He was acquitted of the murders, of course, and she was probably pregnant with his baby. Now you've got
And she
these
was hung.
screams, and the screams in Fall River at that point in 1834, a bunch of different houses to the police department. Now, they found her, I believe it was December 4th, if I remember right, in 1834. They found her hanging. It was a farm. It was called the Durfee Farm at the time. Today it's called Kennedy Park. They found her. Knees were dragging in the snow. Her arm was broken. She had handprint bruises on her hips, and they believed that out of her. So sounds
Wow.
kind of funny, and this was again within a block. You have all these weird little murders, a bit, was this a burial ground? And when they started digging around in Fall River, did they dig something else up? Did they disturb some type of negative spirit that, thrives on murder, causes people to murder, causes people to kill themselves? Because, you go again before 1892 when the Lizzie Borden murders occurred and Andrew and Abby were found dead in the house by axe murder. You've got a Borden case. And she married into the family, so she was not originally a Borden. So you can't say, well, you
I
can
mean,
kind of say that mental illness
guilty by
runs in the family.
association, almost. I
Sorry
mean,
about that.
she was still part of the family. May
Yep.
have blood, but
Yep.
she
Yep.
still had that association. That
That's
was
right.
that was
It was
before or
kitty
after.
corner. You've got the Borden house front and if you walk to the backyard and then look like a few feet away from the Borden house. And that was where she drowned 2 of her children and then took her husband's straight razor and sliced her own throat. Right there on the same property with, the skeleton and armor, the Sarah Maria Cornell murder, then the suicide and murder of the 2 children. I mean, this is just a small little piece of the city. Like, I wish I could stand above it with, a camera and take a picture of it because
Yeah.
the proximity is just incredible. And then, we've got the spirit in the house.
So let's back up a little bit here.
Okay.
Because a lot of people know the story of Lizzie Borden. But can you let people in on who Lizzie Borden was as a person?
I
Or do you know?
actually, when you grow up in my area, which is pretty much the Bridgewater Triangle, when you're a kid. I remember my sister teaching me the jump roping rhyme that everybody said. Lizzie Borden got an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. I remember feeling a kid that she couldn't have done that. Like, who's going to kill their own parents? How could she do this? And I was guilty. But we grow up around here with the whole Lizzie Borden, legend. In August of 1892, they reported the murders and they found Andrew, her father, first because he was deceased. Oh geez, what was it? Geez, it wasn't 41. I believe he got 14. I'm gonna have to look that up for you real quick. But he was found first. But then as people came into the house, Lizzie kept insisting that Mrs. Borden had left. She had gone to her friend Mrs. Duffy's. So nobody thought that Abby was actually in the home until, more investigators came into the home and they discovered Abby's was known today as the John Morse room because Lizzie's uncle, John, was actually staying in the house the night before the murders. And she was found laying next to the bed. She was kind of in what would you call it, an indecent pose back then. So they did actually like her skirt had flipped up over her body, like kind of exposing her undergarments. And that was very inappropriate back then. Who in the house actually covered her with her skirt so that she would be more decent. But the weird thing is that Andrew had just changed his will shortly before these murders. And it stated that if he died first, Abby would get the fortune and his daughters would get nothing. And if Abby died first before Andrew, then the daughter would inherit. People thought it was a money thing.
I can see why.
But,
Makes sense.
get some of the facts. John Borden was in the house. He supposedly left that morning. And if you want to look it up, there is a complete transcription of, what happened at court everybody's testimony. It's actually a good read if you're interested in the case. But the weird thing that kind of sets me on John is he knew every single trolley car that he passed by. He knew the number of every single police officer that he passed by. He knew their badge number. You know, he could account supposedly for everything that he did when the murders were. Weird thing about, you know, forensics back in that day was that you couldn't really tell the difference between an axe wound or a cleaver wound. Now, John Morse was a butcher. And back in those days, if you were a butcher, you carried your tools around with you because you never knew when a cow was going to die or a horse was going to die. And they called it rendering back then. And when you rendered a horse, you would get the skin, you would get all the meat cut up, get rid of the organs, get the hooves because there's glue in the hooves. Or somebody's cow died, it's the same thing. You're going to skin it, you're going to chop up all the meat. You know, so who's to say that John didn't, you know, need to give him all those trolley car numbers and cop numbers, and, you know, that was his nieces. Emma, Lizzie's sister, and Lizzie were his nieces through their mother. And wouldn't he be concerned if, you know, Andrew changed the will to leave everything to his wife if he died first? He was older than her, you know, by quite a few years. I think it was 12 years, if I remember. So you kill to make sure that your nieces had a roof over their head, some money to spend, you know. He's always kind of been a suspect on my list.
That's a lot, though. I mean, what happened to them is, I mean, that seems like a very like an angry killing. Like something happened to make a person do that to someone. Because I mean, you know, money. That seems like something you would either like. I don't know. It feels like doing it so many times is a lot.
Money
Overkill
is a motive for so many. If you look back through history, you know, it's almost always money that drives people to do these violent crimes.
Yeah.
Or, you know, love, passion, revenge. But
were they really close? Do you know if Lizzie and her uncle and all of them were like?
There's not really much about that, you know, to tell you the truth. But another interesting character that I always kind of have to look at too is William Borden. And he was supposedly the child of Andrew Borden's brother. And he would be cousin to Emma and Lizzie. And the weird thing that people don't know about him is he spent a year in the Taunton Insane Asylum. It was, I think it's like 1874 or 5. Geez, I'll have to, let me look real quick. Yes, he went into the Taunton Asylum in December 8th of 1874 and was released so that's a year in insane asylum. And he had been married for 2 months before he went into the asylum. And this is going back like 20 years before the murders. And the weird thing is he committed suicide. He drank carbolic acid and then he hung himself from a tree with a chain around his neck. Like, Was that guilt? Did he, feel bad for, killing his illegitimate father? Because there's really no other evidence that he's the illegitimate son of Andrew Borden, except for the fact that his birth certificate is sealed. And back in those days, usually a birth certificate was sealed because you didn't know paternity for sure. So, did Andrew Borden, Lizzie's father, maybe have an affair with his brother's wife and later had an illegitimate child? And was he jealous of what Lizzie and Emma had, which was a father, Andrew Borden? We can't ever say because we can't know. The record is sealed and it does not show who his actual father was. There's no way of knowing that, unfortunately. So, he's another character that I kind of think sometimes maybe. And if you go through those court transcripts, like I said, you'll find that someone reported a person fitting William Borden's description on the street down, couple houses down from the Lizzie Borden house. Hand. And he also rendered animals when, if you could do that, if you could render an animal, you carried your tools with you because, hey, that's an extra few dollars there. Or back then, maybe a few cents, but, you could render an animal and make money from it. So you carried the trade.
Do you think the axe that was used was found in the house is the murder weapon?
No, I do not. There was no blood on it. It had a broken handle. It was not. I don't think that was the murder weapon. And you got to think about it. Did Lizzie do it? And the point that always comes to mind, did Lizzie do it? Okay, you just axed 2 people to death. You don't have any blood on you, no blood in your hair, no blood on your face, no blood on your clothes. And yes, they say she burned a dress that she claimed had paint on it, but why didn't the investigators find this dress if it had blood on it?
How long was it between
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
She had
So she would have
20
had
minutes
time.
before someone was in the house after she found the body because she had to run across the road.
Oh, so she found the
and
body.
ask someone, father has been killed. And if I were going to axe somebody, and I have long hair, but not as long as Lizzie's hair, and I had to wash that blood out of my hair will not be naturally dry in 20 minutes.
And that's now. Talking about 1800
with blow
in
dryers.
Massachusetts. I mean, August, but still, it's probably humid there, so it's not going to dry. I mean, there's no way.
No, your hair does. Nobody's hair dries completely in 20
some
minutes.
blood on her.
Yeah.
I had to dress completely and not be fun because I'm sorry, but an axe murder or even a cleaver murder, if we're thinking about, John Morse or William Borden doing it with a cleaver, axe, cleaver, there's going to be blood spray and a lot of it.
Oh, yeah.
So in 20 minutes, she did not have time to dry her hair. She did not. Petticoats, all of those, like, you couldn't get dressed in 15 minutes for crying out loud in those days.
No, and you needed help.
And a lot of people don't realize that as soon as people started coming to the house, a doctor came in. Oh, God, what was his name? I know his name. It'll come to me. But almost immediately, she started being dosed with opium to calm her nerves. The doctor, even when she was in jail, the doctor visited her and was giving her opium. Why did her story change? Oh, I was in the barn getting fishing hooks. Oh, I was picking pears. Gee, I don't know where I am. What's my name right now? I'm on opium. Like,
Right.
really?
Yeah.
You know, how could she possibly give a straight testimony when she was jacked up on drugs? And that was natural back then. Opium was a thing you could go to the corner store and buy. You know, I'm sick. I need this. And even the prussic acid she bought days before the murders, and people thought that she tried to poison them. You could buy that, no problem back then. It removes stains from fur. And yes, you could poison someone with it, but they were also, Andrew was a skinflint. He didn't like to spend money. He didn't have, a bathroom, and all the other houses of, people in high society had running water, had toilets in their homes. To do that costs money. So, the food that they were eating, they would eat mutton stew for, 11 days and then wonder why everybody's sick and throwing up and having diarrhea. And, people are saying that, oh, Lizzie must have poisoned them. But, you also have to think back. They didn't, if you wanted your things refrigerated and cold, the ice guy came around the neighborhood and you could buy a block of ice and put it in your ice box, and it might last a day or two. And then you had to buy more ice. So, you're putting your food on ice, but the ice is only going to last a day or two in there. And then the food is raising up in temperature, going down in temperature. You're like asking for bacteria to grow in that food. I don't really follow with the poisoning thing either. It's a tough case because we unfortunately can't go back in history and, be a fly on the wall and see what happened. But, I strongly do not believe that Lizzie killed them.
And it goes back to that EVP you captured. And I'm sorry, Rhonda, for talking so much.
No, you're fine. I'm loving hearing all because I have investigated the Lizzie Borden house and I'm friends with Sam Baltrusis. So it's very interesting to me having been there. Of course, public investigations there is not like what Luann has done, but it's interesting to hear the things that I have not heard before.
Oh, poor Sam. That house, I love Sam. I love all of them. So, it was like this life experience to investigate Lizzie's together and have all of the things happening that you see in the show. But Sam, like, I close my empathic abilities when I'm investigating because if I open that up, I mean, I would constantly, like, even right now, I have two in my house that I'm still trying to figure out. One that taps my leg twice all the time. And the poor little old man that I keep seeing, like the first time I saw him in my house, I was actually getting up to go to the bathroom in like the middle of the night. And I go out my bedroom door and I'm like, oh my God, someone's in my house because there's somebody standing in my hallway. And I'm like trying to reach behind my door to get the baseball bat that I hide there. Like there's weapons all over my house. And I just took my eyes off for a second. And when I looked back up, he was gone. I was like, oh God. And I started thinking about it, what I had actually seen. He was shorter than I am. And he's dark, so I didn't really get to see his features. And what I think was a fedora hat on. So, just being like this ghost magnet, empathic person, it's a lot, so to go into a place of like Lizzie's, and I think it would be a catastrophe, especially with like the negative influence there. But for Sam, it was so tough. He kept picking up on Eliza Darling and the children, and
Yeah,
it was just
that was freaky.
so like seeing Sam painful for me, and then going back to like that whole seance, there's one thing that I want everyone to remember and like maybe watch the show again. During the seance, they want me to open up and let the stuff in. So I was like, okay, I guess I can do this. And now remember, I'm sitting there holding hands with those guys. I've got my eyes closed and waiting. I swear to God, I felt Sam take my hand and put the pen in my hand for me. And every time I see it, like sometimes I have to watch it again because like some friend hasn't seen it. So
I can bring it up right now.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
And I reach out. I see it on the film. I reach out with my hand, put my hand right on the pen, and start writing. Was the worst experience I have ever had in my life because I didn't get Eliza Darling. I didn't get Lizzie Borden or Andrew or Abby. I got Anvelo, the entity that I have recorded there many times, telling people to F off and screw you or I'm Anvelo. Ha ha ha. That's who was in me, and he was writing backwards.
I've got the
I see the shock docs up.
Yeah, do you want to check it out and watch it?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's do it.
All right, it's gonna be 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
Okay.
We're about to open a portal here, a potential doorway to evil. This is the most dangerous paranormal contact for anyone to attempt.
So I'm going to stop it. So when you were about to do that, what was the feeling, real quick, going into that seance? Were you nervous? Was everybody nervous, or did it feel dangerous when you were doing it?
It felt, I mean, I still had that past experience of the seance where we smashed the beautiful antique table that I keep talking about. I'm always anxious because seances, sometimes they're fake. There's, people out there who do table tipping and it's all a show. And I have been in the Lizzie Borden house and done 3 or 4 seances where I was very leery of doing it because I don't like to open myself up to that because I already know what I am. And if I open up too much, then everybody's coming in. So, sitting down at a seance table, I'm, trying to stay protected, but also trying to open myself up to, let things happen naturally.
Just enough.
Just enough.
Yeah.
But it never seems to be enough because, like I say, I've had some pretty negative experiences with these things.
I mean, going back to earlier, because I want to keep going with the seance, but that EVP you got from Lizzie, I guess Lizzie Borden's room or whatever, or somewhere it said, I'm a good daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell. And you know what? I think what we need to do, Rhonda, is bring her back on for an evidence show.
The evidence. Yes. Yes. Maybe
boy.
I'm gonna see
We've got to
Sam.
go to that.
I have an idea. I'm gonna see Sam weekend after this one coming up. Maybe we could see if Sam could join us too. What do you think, Luann?
Oh,
I'll ask him.
killer. I haven't seen him in ages. I'd
I'll
love
ask him if
to.
he'd be willing to join us.
Okay.
That'd be awesome. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. We'll set something up. Let's continue with the seance here
Okay.
because it's really cool being able to talk to you while we're watching this. This is awesome.
Yes.
There have been very few seances actually conducted in this house because of those dangers involved. We're trying to discover and contact the source of this curse. Well, we've all agreed to come here to try to help the spirits that are part of the Borden household. The spirits that have reached out for help, from Eliza and her 2 children to Lisbeth and the Bordens directly, to see if we can lift this curse, lift this burden that's been put on their shoulders.
We might as well begin.
Each person has an important role to play during this seance. Luann has a strong connection to this house and captured the Envelo EVP. Will the demon come out tonight? Sam is related to Lizzie Borden and has channeled the spirit of Lizzie's great aunt Eliza. She drowned her children in the house directly next door 44 years before the Borden murders. Will he make contact again and bring them peace in the afterlife? Me, I'm going to open myself and my body to whatever spirits need to help them. And finally, there's Chris, the leader of the seance. He understands the dangers better than any of us. A seance opens a door to the other side, inviting in good and sometimes bad spirits. They can take over your body and attach to you. In the best case scenario, you'll find out who or what you're dealing with and then close that door. But we all have to be aware of the worst case scenario. When you give that kind of permission, anything can walk through. Anything. Chris's #1 job is to keep us safe.
I want to see the whole seance. That's just the beginning of it. Let's see. There, here's we are right here. Cool.
Oh, I didn't know you could see the whole seance.
Maybe this is what it is.
I have the whole episode, so.
Oh, here's Curse of Lizzie Borden. Let's see. Maybe this one will give more. No, that's the same one.
Yeah.
That's the same one.
Did you see the one that was like the portion of she's talking about?
I watched it the other day, and you could tell at first it started off with I guess Dave Schrader. He did some automatic writing, and he didn't. He I guess wasn't used to that happening, and he was like, "I don't like this. I don't like this." And Chris was like, "You need to calm down." But then it went to you after Dave, because Dave stopped, and then he I'm watching a show. You watching it? Awesome.
Trying to remember if it was maybe Sam came last.
I think Sam was last.
Yeah, because it was very hard for him. It was emotional. He felt the spirits of the children and the remorse of Eliza for what she did. I'm hoping that he helped cross the children over at least. He said Eliza wouldn't leave, but he thinks that the 2 children crossed over, and that would make me so happy if they did it. It's just sad to imagine. I mean, they were 1 year and 3 years old, if I remember right. They were very small. She did have 3 children. She had an older daughter. I believe Mary was her name. And she wasn't at home that day. That's why she survived. And she did later marry, had her own children, and fortunately didn't kill them. So, that's always a plus. But
that's a bonus right there. Yeah.
If you do watch the show, every time I see it, it just freaks me out because that's not what I felt. I felt Sam put the pen in my hand and then it took over. And when you look at the show, I go right, and my eyes were closed. I could not see where the pen was. So whatever made me grab that pen and take it up, it was writing 666 backwards and like hateful things. And what I felt was probably one of the worst paranormal experiences I've ever had in my life, because I believe it was Amvelo that took over at that point. Somehow I had a connection to him because I've recorded him, I felt him, he burned my face at one investigation, and you could tell with which my girl had to run upstairs, running back down the stairs with a thermometer away. There was a 10-degree difference between the sides of my face, and that was when it was receding. Like, my face was red, it was hot, it felt like it was burning. And seeing myself pick up the pen like that, and I remember it hated all of us. It wanted to destroy everything. Um, Death, mayhem, murder, make it happy. And, we may have been successful, because I'll tell you, I was fighting so hard while it was, I don't want to say controlling me. I'm not really sure how to describe what was going on, but I fought so hard to get it back out of me. Like, the whole time it kept right
Mhm.
with my hand, I'm fighting to try to get it out of me. And in the end, I just remember, like, it almost felt like grabbing it and throwing it. And I threw it out of the house as hard as I could. And the problem with places like Lizzie Borden's, or haunted parks, or haunted cemeteries, public places. I work very closely with a reverend. Um, I've been to the station fire location. I don't know if you've ever heard of that in your area. It actually happened in Rhode Island. Um, hundred, over 100 people died inside of a concert that was going on, like a bar. It was called The Station, and they had Whitesnake playing that night. And the pyrogenics that they had going on that night toasted the building in like five, I can barely talk about it. In like 5 minutes, everybody was gone. There
Oh
were
God.
very few survivors. And that type of location that's public, where there's a memorial and people can go, are very hard to cleanse. You can cleanse a park and it might stay clean for a little while, but with the station fire, when you look back in history, there's fire after fire after fire in that location where people died. It goes back to like the 1600s, and the Wampanoag and the settlers, and how there was unrest going on, and the first really big war. They call it the bloodiest war per capita in America, was the King Philip's War. And you're on the precipice of that. And the settlers burned down a native village right there where the station fire started. So is it kind of like the same thing at Lizzie Borden's? Is there like an elemental type spirit, a very powerful negative entity type spirit that is attached to this land? And you might be able to kick it out for a few minutes, but as soon as you turn your back, it's going to come back. So, maybe for 5 minutes I kick that spirit out. out of myself, out of the house. But, a week later, are a bunch of enthusiasts going to come in and want to experience paranormal activity? And they're asking for it. Anvelo's going to go, oh, here I am. I'm Andrew Borden again. A lot of the EVP that I've gotten there, I have to question. Is this Lizzie Borden saying, I'm a good daughter with a full river accent and everything? You'll pick up my accent and hers because we're from the same areas. Is that Anvelo? When it says it's Andrew when it's angry, is that Andrew or is that Anvelo? You never hear from Abby very often. You never hear from Emma very often. You hear from Andrew. You hear from Lizzie. But those types of spirits, they mimic. They give you what you want. They want their foot in the door. And every time they get someone to go in there and ask for them to come, aren't they just going to come running back and pull this, you know, magic act where I'm Lizzie, I'm Andrew, but I'm Anvelo? And the funny thing is that for years I was looking for what the hell is Anvelo? And damn it, Dave Schrader picks up a phone and gets in contact with someone who's a linguist and knows all these different languages and said that it's possibly Native American and it means the veil.
That's freaky.
That blew my mind. Like, I think he even said it when we were on TV, and I was, what? Are you kidding me? There were a few different meanings, but that one fit for some reason. The veil. I will pull the veil over your eyes. I will be the veil. I will make you think you're crossing the veil. It's the negative ones are really hard to prove or come to terms with. And I mean, I'm a person who's seen dogs fly, children fly, stuff fly, I've probably pretty much seen it all. And, the Lizzie Borden house is always going to be kind of like an enigma for me. When you go to Maplecroft, it's so different. And Maplecroft is the house that Emma and Lizzie bought after they left the Borden house. And it's this beautiful mansion. And it's like night and day. Like, you go to the Lizzie Borden house and it's dark. You can feel that, empath people want to like shut all the doors and windows just like I do when I go there. And you go to her home where she passed away, proud of it. She loved it. She put everything of herself into it. She had parties and she even had a car. And the funny, you drive into the garage, you park your car, and there was this circular pad that turned the car around so she never had to back up.
Oh wow.
That's cool.
That was her pride and joy, and it's night and day. I don't know what has happened with Maplecroft. It was actually for sale, and some members of, actually trying to put together to buy the place. So I'm not exactly sure like who owns it at this point. But what was that?
Were her and her sister close? Did her sister have any doubts about what had happened?
Well, it's funny, they were close until Lizzie started having a lot of parties at Maplecroft. And Emma actually moved out. So, they were still close. They did still communicate, but Emma could not live with the parties and,
Mm.
the movie stars and God knows what else. But, some people accuse Lizzie of being a lesbian because she was a spinster. And, you know, it's hard to, you know, justify that because, just because a woman doesn't marry doesn't mean that they don't want to. Andrew was very protective of them. He, there's a couple stories about Andrew and, you've got the pigeon story. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but Lizzie was keeping pigeons in the barn. She adored her pigeons. And Andrew got upset because the boys to the yard, dead pigeons. And there's also another story about the pear trees. Like you see a lot of times when you mention Lizzie Borden, they'll have a pear. And there's actually pear trees growing in the yard now. But
I was wondering about the pears that I saw right
yep,
before the seance on the video
yep,
clip.
yep.
There were pears. I was going
I
to ask
noticed
about
that.
the significance of the
And
pears.
again, he was upset because the pears were bringing boys into the yard because they'd sneak into the yard. So that was another bit of contention for, Mr. Andrew Borden, that, boys were not allowed in this yard. Boys are not, and a lot of people speculate about the relationship between Lizzie and her father. Andrew was buried with Lizzie's high school ring. He sent her, 2 years before the murders on Lizzie's 30th birthday. His present to her was a tour of Europe, and of course, Lizzie overspent and kept asking for him. She had a grand old time for her
Yeah.
30th birthday in Europe. And that was footed by Andrew Borden. Would he do something like that? Send her away to Europe for this wonderful tour if he didn't love her dearly?
I mean, it goes back to what you're talking about with the uncle. How,
Yep.
about,
Yep.
with the uncle murder.
Yep.
Was it his brother or brother-in-law?
Brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yes. It was Lizzie's mother's brother, John Morse.
Or maybe John knew there was something else going on between the two people. There's so much we could talk about, so much theories and stuff we could go down, which we could talk about more when we have you back on for the evidence show, because I know you've got some great stuff from the Lizzie Borden house and other locations.
Oh God, and there's stuff that I have that wasn't in the show. They just, it was what was it, 2.5 hour documentary, if I remember right. And there is so much EVP that just could not be put in the show.
Right.
But yeah,
Let's
that would be interesting.
could you do June 2nd?
Where did I put my phone?
That is a
My
Tuesday.
phone has all my information in it. Oh no. Where are you? Oh, I found you. It was hiding. June 2nd. Let me check. Probably not, because you guys are at 9 o'clock. So, yep. Looks like a good day.
Okay.
Awesome. So we'll continue the conversation on June 2nd, which is, less than a month away. And we will have your evidence we can talk about, and we can go deeper dive into stuff that you captured at the house that was not actually on the show. And again, if anybody wants to watch the show to get an idea of what's going on, it is on HBO Max and Discovery Plus. So you have to get those apps to watch it, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
And it's
and you just, I mean, we were there for a week, and you had to break that down into, you know, a 2-hour show. So there's so much that happened that
I feel like
isn't
there's a lot
in
missing
there.
from there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Because it's really
And of course, I blow orbs out my butt, if you guys noticed. I almost died when I saw that because I'm not really into orbs. There's a very specific set of circumstances to even consider an orb. Most orbs that you see on film are because the light source and the camera were too close together, so they're causing, I guess you could call it a light anomaly. But you know, most of the times orbs are not anything paranormal, and the one that comes out of my butt is not a paranormal thing. It was probably dust. You know, even though they do keep the Lizzie Borden house immaculately clean, I have to say, every house has dust in it. You know, whether you clean every hour of every day, you cannot get away from dust.
Right.
But yes,
That's
I
true.
blow them out my butt.
Well, you know, we all have our talents, I guess. Yeah.
Oh God,
Well,
list of talents. I hope I don't have to put that on a job resume. I don't think they'll
Or
hire me.
That's funny, man. Well, Luann, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us. It was really cool talking to you about your experiences at the house, and I'm looking forward to part 3 when
Awesome.
we dive into your
I'd love to see
evidence.
Sam. Geesh, I think the last time I saw him was we investigated the USS Salem together, which is a battleship. That was amazing. Oh my God, I got full-bodied apparitions and pictures. The EVP was off the charts.
I will talk to him. I mean, I know Sam's schedule is so busy, but I'll get
Yeah.
the date of June 2nd to him and see what he says. And like I said, I see him weekend after this one, so I'll ask him as soon as I see him.
Oh, if he needs to move it or anything, just let me know. I'm
I
pretty,
will.
at this time of night, I'm usually open. I'm a grandmother, you know, got my granny things to do.
Well, I know how that is. So we've got some open dates here in the summertime. So if he has to do that, that's fine. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
But
Okay.
Luann, Luna, that's my dog's name. Luann.
No way! You named your dog after me?
Well, I mean, I named her Luna.
Oh, okay.
I think if I named her Luann, that might be. I mean, that might be kind of weird. If I named my dog after you, might be a little creepy. No, close, but no, it's Luna.
Oh,
But
good.
Luann, I want to thank you again for joining us tonight, and we'll talk to you on June 2nd.
Yep. Sounds excellent. Keep me
All right.
posted.
All right, we'll figure it out. We'll fight. Well, you know, in the next 2 weeks after Luna, Rhonda talks to
Sam. Yep.
Talks to Sam about it. So we'll let you know soon. Okay.
Awesome. Freaking awesome.
Heck yeah. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Good night. So that was fun. I always
fun.
enjoy having her on.
I know
talking.
it was like I could listen to her talk about stuff forever.
I really could too.
Yeah.
But sitting on this hard chair it gets a little uncomfortable after a while. I know RJ's still awake, so I gotta get him to bed.
Yeah,
but,
I understand.
We've got some stuff coming up here. Thursday, we were supposed to talk to Ariel Grida.
Okay.
About I think Clifton Inn. I think it's called.
Okay.
I have a a recital I have to go to for RJ. It starts at 6.
Well, knowing that we have a big weekend ahead of us,
I may postpone.
if we need to reschedule, I would be totally okay with that because it's going to be a long, busy weekend.
Yes, we are going to be streaming live from the cabin on 360.
Yep.
All weekend.
Yeah.
Super excited. We have a lot of cool people coming in town for the event. We got the folks from Haunted Media Productions going to be there. Fredericksburg Paranormal Researchers Incorporated, FPRI, are going to be there.
Yeah,
there's so many cool people. I was just at the meeting last night. I saw our friend Kim Sage there.
Yeah, she said she was there. So yeah, there's a lot of cool people going to be there. So we need to run around Friday and be like, pick times. What time you want?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll be there Friday morning, and at some point I gotta leave to go get RJ. But I will be there all day.
I'll be there around noon.
Awesome. Guys, if you're in the neighborhood and you want to come out and join us, the admission is free to get in.
Yep.
You just have to pay for tickets to the investigations.
Yep.
And there are certain workshops they're doing that
cost a little bit of money, but it's just your materials included, and you walk away with stuff.
Yeah, it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Nope.
And if you just want to hang out, come out and hang out for free,
Yep.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely worth the price, free to get in. So but it would be worth the price if it was $10 to get in, or $100.
I would agree. I'd pay $10. I'd pay $20.
Me too.
Don't tell Dennis that. He might charge me. He'd be like, "You said you pay $20."
Yeah. Pay out the door now. But it's going to be fun, and thanks everyone for tuning in to the show tonight. Let's see who we have on next week. We have Soul Fire Paranormal.
Nice
And then
name.
On the TikTok, we've got Dana Marie Volmer giving out tarot card readings next week.
Awesome.
Next Thursday. So I'm gonna message Ariel and let her know that we may have to postpone.
Yeah, I think it'd be okay. I'd be cool with that, just to have an extra night of rest for a big weekend.
Yes, perfect. All right, we'll do that.
Okay.
And that means we'll be back here Tuesday night with Soul Fire Paranormal. Same freaking awesome time.
Same freaking awesome show.
See you guys later. We'll see you guys this weekend at the cabin on 360.
All right. Bye.
See ya.